We're going to administer the SCAT-2, which is a mental status exam that incorporates a brief balance assessment. I'm going to read you a list of symptoms, and you're going to tell me how you feel right now. And you're going to grade them on a scale of 0 to 6, 0 meaning you don't have the symptom at all, 6 being the worst you've ever experienced. 1 and 2 are mild, 3 and 4 are moderate, 5 and 6 are severe. Okay? Headache?
1.
Pressure in the head?
0.
Neck pain?
0.
Nausea or vomiting?
0.
Dizziness?
2.
Blurred vision?
0.
Balance problems?
1.
Sensitivity to light?
1.
Sensitivity to noise?
0.
Feeling slowed down?
1.
Feeling like in a fog?
1.
Don't feel right?
1.
Difficulty concentrating?
0.
Difficulty remembering?
0.
Fatigue or low energy?
2.
Confusion?
0.
Drowsiness?
1.
Trouble falling asleep?
0.
More emotional?
0.
Irritable?
0.
Sadness?
0.
Nervous or anxious?
0.
The athlete endorsed 9 total symptoms and had an aggregate score of 11. Do the symptoms get worse with physical activity?
Yes, they do.
Do the symptoms get worse with mental activity?
Yes.
An additional section asking how is the athlete acting differently compared to his or her usual self. For this specific subject, I'm going to mark very different.
Okay.
The first item on the SCAT-2 that we're going to grade is the symptom score. We originally read the athlete 22 symptoms and he endorsed 9. So we're going to subtract 9 from 22, giving him a score of 13 out of 22 for the symptom score. Next, I'm going to assess his physical signs. I'm going to ask him 2 questions. The first, was there a loss of consciousness or unresponsiveness?
No, I did not lose consciousness.
Was there any balance problems or feelings of unsteadiness?
I did have some balance issues.
So this athlete scores a 1 of 2 for endorsing balance problems and unsteadiness. The third item is the Glasgow Coma Scale. Since the athlete reported no loss of consciousness, he will score 15 of 15 on the Glasgow Coma Scale. The fourth item of the SCAT-2 is a sideline assessment containing the Maddox score. The Maddox score is not calculated into the SCAT-2 total score, but we will run through it today as an example, as if we were administering it the day previous during a game scenario. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Please listen carefully and give your best effort. At what venue are we at today?
Kenan Stadium.
Which half is it now?
Second.
Who scored last in this match?
We did.
What team did you play last week?
NC State.
Did your team win the last game?
Yes.
I would give this athlete a score of 5 of 5 for getting all answers correct. The fifth item of the SCAT-2 is a cognitive assessment called the Standard Assessment of Concussion. The nice thing about this portion of the SCAT-2 is it's scripted and easy to administer. The first portion is to assess orientation. I'm going to ask the athlete 5 questions. What month is it?
It's July.
What is the date today?
Today's date is the 8th.
What is the day of the week?
It's the second week.
What year is it?
2010.
What time is it right now?
1:30.
I'm going to test your memory. I will read you a list of words, and when I am done, Repeat back as many of the words as you can remember in any order. Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
I'm going to repeat the same list again. Repeat back as many words as you can remember in any order, even if you said the word before. Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
We're going to repeat the same list again. Repeat back as many of the words as you can remember in any order, even if you said the word before. Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, bubble.
Elbow, apple, carpet, saddle, and bubble.
Good. For this portion of the SAC, we have alternative word lists, and that's for serial testing. If you were going to repeat the test, you would want to use a different list of words. For this section, we give the athlete a score of 15 of 15 for remembering all words in each trial. The next portion of the standard assessment of concussion assesses concentration. I'm going to read the athlete 4 strings of digits, and he's going to repeat them back to me backwards in reverse order. If he gets one incorrect, we will repeat that length of string, pulling the digits from the alternative list. I'm going to read you a string of numbers, and when I'm done, you repeat them back to me backwards in reverse order of how I read them to you. For example, if I say 719, you would say 917. Are you ready? 4, 9, 3.
3, 9, 4.
3, 8, 1, 4.
4, 1, 8, 3.
6, 2, 9, 7, 1.
1, 7, 9, 2, 6.
7, 1, 8, 4, 6, 2.
2, 6, 4, 7, 8, 1.
5, 3, 9, 1, 4, 8.
8, 4, 7, 9, 6, 3, 4.
The athlete successfully repeated 3 of the 4 trials. He failed to repeat back the 4th trial, so he will get 3 out of 4 on that section. Next, we will complete the months in reverse order. Now tell me the months of the year in reverse order. Start with the last month and go backwards. So you'll say December, November. Go ahead.
December, November, October, September, August, June, July, May, April, February, January.
The athlete will receive a score of 0 because he did not repeat the sequence successfully. For this section, he receives a total of 3 out of 5. The next portion of the SCAT-2 is the balance examination, which consists of the first 3 trials of the balance error scoring system, commonly known as the BESS. Since we will be going over the BESS later in this video, we will skip along to the next section, which is coordination examination. I'm going to test your coordination now. Please sit comfortably in your chair with your eyes open and your left arm outstretched. Your shoulder is flexed to 90 degrees and your elbow and fingers should be extended. When I give a start signal, I would like you to perform 5 successive finger-to-nose repetitions using your index finger to touch the tip of your nose as quickly and as accurately as possible. Are you ready?
Yes.
Ready, go. I would give the subject a score of 0 on the coordination score because he missed his nose once. The 8th portion of the SCAT-2 is a cognitive assessment consisting of delayed recall of the previous list of words. Okay, do you remember that list of words I read a few times earlier?
I think so.
Tell me as many of the words from the list as you can remember in any order.
Carpet, bubble, saddle, apple. I can't remember.
Good. The athlete receives a score of 4 of 5 for getting 4 out of the 5 words correct. When we calculate the SCAT-2, a higher score is better. This is evident when we calculate the symptom score in that we take 22 minus the number of symptoms endorsed, which in this case was 9, and calculate in a 13. In extreme scenarios, if an athlete endorses all symptoms, we would have a total score of 0. If the athlete endorses no symptoms, we would have a score of 22. We also calculate the balance examination score by taking the total score of 30 and subtracting the number of errors that occurred. In this case, we calculated 22 because 8 errors occurred. To calculate the total SCAT-2 score, we're going to add the scores on the blue lines to the line on the bright orange line to get a total of 78 in this scenario. We're also going to indicate the symptom severity score calculated from the original graded symptoms checklist, and that in this case was 11. For this scenario, we decided that this athlete should not return to play. After scoring the SCAT-2, the sheet contains information pertaining to signs to watch for and return to play. Any athlete suspected of having a concussion should seek medical attention and not return to play. You can also rip off this portion of the sheet, which contains concussion injury advice, which you could provide to the athlete, parent, roommate, anybody who will be available to observe the athlete. This section contains advice for those people in managing the athlete overnight.
And finally, in summarizing the SCAT-2, there are a few common errors that are made. One with respect to digits backward. Just remember that the test does end once an athlete has missed the string of numbers for any one row twice. So if they've missed the first try at it and they've missed the second try at it, and that occurred on the third row of numbers, then you don't continue to test and they score a 0 for that third row. So just remember that. With respect to months backward, a common error or question that we get is oftentimes if an athlete should do something such as this: December, November, October, August, September. Once they have said an incorrect month out of order, it automatically is scored a 0, regardless of whether or not they corrected themselves. Likewise, that should not take more than 30 seconds. If they take more than 30 seconds to complete those 12 months in reverse order, that's also scored a 0. And then finally, just remember that on the SCAT-2, the total scoring is subtracting from 100, which would be the maximum score and the best score that you could possibly have, all of the mistakes, if you will, or errors that are recorded on each of those sub-tests within the scoring. So, thank you.